Hello and welcome back to Aristotle's Playground with your host, Mr. Blockhead and
Joker.
Woo. So, last week I was reading The Ghost of the Shadow Market, and Joker was reading
Winter's Heart, another part of the 14-book series by Robert Jordan.
Is that what you're reading this week or what you read last week?
That's what I'm reading this week.
Got it. Alright, well, what are you reading this week, Joker?
Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan.
That's so interesting. I am reading Shadow Play by Tad Williams. It was recommended Tad Williams because I liked Robert Jordan. Woo! So, today, before we begin our wonderful and philosophical debates, I was inspired by a YouTube video thing to ask this question, or this scenario. What would you do in this scenario, Joker? If a genie suddenly popped up and was like, the last person who had a wish, they said that the next person who gets me is immortal, but they only get one wish. What is your wish? And then you're like, oh, what kind of immortality? He takes out, he makes a gun appear, he shoots you in the head, you wake up, and then he's like, wow, I'm back alive. But what happens if, you shoot my hand? He shoots your hand, you're still alive because you haven't died yet, then he shoots your head, you wake up, and the injury is gone. That kind of immortality.
Well, I feel pain.
Yes, you felt excruciating pain from every time he shot you. Well, the pain of a gunshot.
So, if he shot me in the head and I die, I still feel the pain of the death.
Well, until you died. But yes.
I don't know, at that point, I would say my wish would be to not feel the pain of each death. Sure, I can feel, the pain of the injuries that do not lead to direct death. If, as you said, I got shot in the hand. If I get shot in the hand, I don't mind feeling that bullet shot compared to getting shot in the forehead, instantly dying, feeling all that pain. Because at that point, you're essentially devoid of all emotion in life. If you think about it, the more and more you experience death, the less and less responsive you are to human emotions.
I would disagree. I think just as, feel emotions just as much. I think.
Well, you wouldn't respond to the emotions as much. You wouldn't, show as much.
I've been shot. Like that? Okay, I'll give you that one.
No, that's stupid. Stop. No, what I mean is, okay, so it's essentially a depression of sorts.
What?
I know it doesn't make sense to you, but it would
Then
probably make sense to other people. What I'm saying is, every time you feel pain, certain emotions start to spark. You feel anger, and then you feel worried that the pain starts to fester.
You would eventually not
but
feel
if
those.
You wouldn't feel the emotions that would happen after the pain.
Yeah.
The moment you die, because eventually that just starts to disappear and go away.
Okay, yeah, all right, that I'll agree with. I thought you were when you get shot, you'll just not care, which I would disagree with.
Oh, yeah. You definitely care because you were bro, you shot me.
So your first wish would be I don't want to feel pain. Your only wish would be, I don't want to feel the pain of deaths. Is that right?
Yes, I don't want to feel the pain of the death, but I wouldn't mind feeling the pain of, say, a cut or a scrape, because that just still reinforces the fact that I can feel pain.
Yep. Last week you said that if you were immortal, in the book Scythe, which by the way, the other way they die is the Scythe come and kill them, as is their job, and to keep up with overpopulation. I forgot. Anyway, you said that if you're immortal, death would be welcome. You don't want to weigh out, you just want to not feel pain.
Yeah, because in this case it's different. Circumstances have changed. No, not everybody in the world is immortal at this point.
But you're immortal.
Yeah, I'm immortal. I'm the only immortal.
Okay. I think I would wish for and also, this genie isn't haha, you said you don't want to feel pain when you die. Well, guess what? You're dying all the time. You never feel... No. This genie will grant your wish as you think the wish is going to happen.
Okay, so even if I can't put it into words, he'll still base it off my thoughts.
But you do have to say, like, I wish to grow a third arm.
Right.
Yeah, what I would wish for is a time machine, because if you're immortal, you can only go forward in time unless you have a time machine. And if you have a time machine, you can do literally everything.
But the timeline paradox. You could create an infinite loop of timelines.
But it doesn't matter because I'm immortal. So more fun. So more differences.
But
you would get bored eventually.
Yeah, and eventually you would cease to exist.
Yeah, but this way you don't get bored. For a lot longer. And then, like, when you're done, you're just
But
like, alright, time to go. End of universe time.
But this way you destroy every other life in existence.
Yeah, you don't know that. So,
well, at the same time, you don't know that the timeline erasure is a thing.
Hey, Genie, instead of having a time machine, could I have a time machine that makes sure I don't break any time paradoxes? Alright, cool, sweet, thank you, bye. Like that, alright?
Yeah.
Is that better for you?
That's... Yes, okay. Because at least at that point you're not ruining other people's lives.
Okay.
Mr. Blockhead.
Well, speaking of time travel, this is not on our list of questions, but I think this is a fun and interesting topic. If time travel will or is or blah. Alright, first question. Do you think time travel will ever be or has ever been a thing?
Well, do I ever think time travel will be a thing?
Yeah.
Yes. I do. Well, actually...
Did you know Stephen Hawking threw a party for time travelers, and he says no one showed up?
That was a terrible joke.
No, that's a fact. Stephen Hawking threw a party for time travelers, and he says no one showed up. He said no one showed up.
Okay, so I was going to initially say yes, and then I thought about it. My answer is going to be no.
Why not?
Because according to our laws of physics, time travel would theoretically be impossible and also improbable if you consider the time traveling paradoxes that could occur.
Okay, I'll give you improbable. I won't say impossible because there are, I believe, particles that we found are like, it doesn't make sense unless it also...
That are malleable to time.
Yeah. So I think time travel will/has been invented sometime in the future. And like, they just don't, the time traveler just doesn't do everything you think they would do as a time traveler, because, like, why would they? Why would they want to waste their fun on being like, haha, I proved you right, there is time travel, wow, no.
When they could actually use it. Oh, well.
I mean, yeah, or actually use it to, like, see history and learn and whatever, but, like, prank people.
You're a terrible human being.
Hi, nice to meet you, Joker. Alright, any other questions on immortality? No, time travel. Okay, so the reason I think time travel exists and would be a thing that's possible is that I think even if time travel is invented and or is possible, you won't be able... So let's say you go back in time to meet Alexander the Great, right?
Right.
And you're just sitting around, you're waiting. No one's there. And you're like, you know what? I'll start it up. Maybe if I start up being like an adventurer and stuff, like maybe Philip will like get an idea and like, you know, make a son named Alexander and like stuff like that. So you start doing it and eventually people start calling you the Great and you're like, whoa. So I think you can unintentionally do things that affect the future, but like no one knows that it was a time travel, but it still happens because of you, and it just doesn't affect the way history is looked at because they don't know differently. Like the record saying, random beam of light flashed and there he was, Alexander the Great. We'd be like, no. That's religion, or like that's hyperbole. So yeah, that's why I think time travel is possible, because...
But like that's been all over throughout like multiple spans of history, throughout different religions, like with your case of like, beam of light flash.
Yeah, that was
like that's like everywhere.
Exactly. And how do you know that's not a time travel? And it's just like, no, that's a religion. It could just be time travel. You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And
exactly.
We probably will never find out in our lifetime.
Unless we become the time travel inventors. Alright,
yes.
So the first question that's actually on our list. Wow, that was 10 minutes? Alright, the first question that's actually on our list is, should death be punished with capital punishment? And I think what this is asking is, like, if you're a murderer, capital punishment be okay? Do you agree with that understanding the question that way?
If I was a murderer, should capital punishment be used?
Not necessarily you.
Well, yeah, I know.
If a murderer.
I was thinking of it in the case of me. I'm gonna have to say no. Capital punishment should not be used. I think at that point, it's if someone kills someone, you're immediately gonna go out on a whim and say, "Oh, murderer, you deserve the same punishment."
Mhm.
At that point, it's just creating another murderer, and all it's really gonna do is just create an endless chain of people killing people until the whole idea of capital punishment is gone.
An eye for an eye makes the world go blind.
Exactly. Who was that said that?
I think it was Gandhi, but that might be
No,
a
it's not
misinterpretation.
Gandhi. It's an Egyptian dude.
Ramses?
Yes.
Oh, no, wait, no.
Ramses the third.
No, I think it was Hammurabi's code that's an eye for an eye, and then I think Gandhi adapted it to say an eye for an eye makes the whole world goes blind.
Right.
Not sure though.
But either way, it's Egyptian. But
Hammurabi? No. Okay.
no, the saying is I'm pretty sure it's Egyptian.
It's not. It's the Fertile Crescent River Basin.
Okay.
Where Hammurabi's from, I believe.
Egypt.
It's
Close enough.
I'll give you close enough.
We're
not
digressing from the point
Yes, we are.
now. I'm gonna say, regardless of capital punishment should not exist, because all it really does is just insinuate the fact that people who are like serial killers and psychopaths are on the verge will just continuously kill. And the only and they'll be like, okay, I've had my fill of endless murder, like spoils of like raining blood down and causing mass panic and fear. At like my only punishment is death. So at that point, it's just like it's not fulfilling, to kill the murderer and just leave it at that. At that point, it would be like,
so what would
in a sense, you think of it this way, all right? In a sense, you would keep the guy who is killing people in a max security prison to reform him, because that's the original purposes of prisons, was to reform the people so they could go back into society. Welcome to psychology.
Some of them.
No, that was the original purpose of having prison cells in America. Psychology, Chris. Mr. Blackhead. Yeah, at that point it would just be like having people who kill others or any sort of serious crime, they should just go to prison instead of dying for their actions. They should continuously spend the rest of their life to repent upon their sins.
Okay. Why'd you do air quotes around sins? Murder, horrible things like rape, other horrible things. Sins with air quotes. Yeah, no, I think those are like hard sins. But, okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm understand correctly. So, by the time that they're done with murdering everyone or whatever, do you mean they want to get killed, or what was?
I'm not saying that they want to get killed. I'm saying that it's
instead of killing.
It's not a fair form of justice to kill the killer when instead you could have them repent for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I would agree for a different reason. I feel that prisons, their main goal should be their original goal, which was to rehabilitate them. And like capital punishment, you can't really rehabilitate once you're dead.
Right.
And
wow.
Well, religion. Yeah. So next question deals with religion. All right. If God does not exist, is everything permissible? Like, can you just do anything because like there's no higher power to be like, haha, you're a bad person now?
That's a morality question. I wouldn't say so much as a religion question. It's more of a
well, I mean, it starts
morals.
With hey, let me do the transitions. All right, we were talking about religion. We were talking about God and religion, and then like this starts with God. All right, it's a transition. Anyway,
continue.
I would say it doesn't mean everything's permissible because if like you're like, oh great, I get to just like become a serial killer and then like people will put me in a prison and kill me. Whee! You'll like that's not helpful to society or to like you. Doesn't even matter if like society thinks it's killing is bad. No, it's just not productive. So if you're in like the Stone Age or just wherever and you're like, instead of God we have no one, it doesn't help you or like people around you to be like, I'm gonna kill everyone now.
Right. So it's a moral question. It's is what I'm doing right versus is what I'm doing wrong. At that point, it's you as a human being make the choice. You're more independent, not based off of your beliefs or whatever. It's in this circumstance, what are my possible outcomes? It's either A, I go on living devoid of negative consequences in the sense of, as is in your case, like killing. A, I go on living the rest of my life being free from prison. The only downside is that I didn't kill the person that I absolutely wanted to kill. And the other downside to it is that that person will continue to nag me on up until the day they die. Or B, I go on, kill them instantly, never able to see the proper or the light that I always envisioned again because it's not corrupted. You know what? Sorry, alright? It was just my thought process.
No, yeah, I'm listening.
Never see the way that I used to see in the past again. And alongside that, I would probably never be a free man. You know,
From your conscience.
from my conscience because I killed somebody.
Alright, cool. So, if God does not exist, everything is permissible? Disagree.
Yes, I
Alright.
highly disagree.
Sweet. Speaking of having free will, kind of, because, I don't know, that's a different question entirely. If you believe in God, do you have free will? They say everything happens for a reason. If this is true, do you really have free will? And or is this true? I feel like the actions of the many, many people before you largely affect what choices you have, but you're still able to make choices. So yes, everything might happen because like 100 years ago, John Silver dropped a piece of gold into a well, and now today you're like, should I get the money? But it's still your choice whether or not you're going to pick up the gold at the bottom of the well. What a weird analogy. But it was presented to you because 100 years ago, John Silver dropped it down the well. So I think everything does happen for a reason because things in the past happened, but you still have free will because you have the choice to choose between those choices. What is your opinion, Joker?
Do you think free will is higher upon the pedestal in terms of everything happens for a reason, or do you think everything happens for a reason primarily, but we have the free will to change the outcome?
I think everything happens for a reason because people before us had free will.
Okay.
And we also have free will.
Right, I see it.
So I think, to answer your question, free will is higher on the pedestal of Joker's analysis.
No, in my case, that was just based off what I heard from you. But
Okay.
I would say like the phrase everything happens for a reason. I don't think it's necessarily true.
Okay.
You know, there's so many like claims that people have made that have never been proven or have never had anything to back up, right? So, and there's always those moments where you know in your head you're thinking, oh, if I go do this, you know, something's about to happen. But if I just sit here and wait, nothing will happen. And then eventually you get up and you go because you can't take it any longer, and the occurrence happens. You know what I mean? Those will obviously happen, but I feel like those are just random proponents of chance or random occurrences that may happen. I don't think everything happens for a reason. I think it's more so we have the will or the capacity to dictate the outcomes of certain situations that come upon us.
So I think we both say we have free will, but the thing we're disagreeing on is
does everything happen for a reason?
Yeah. So I think those random chances for stuff to happen are set up by people and choices made before.
So essentially, you think fate and destiny exists?
Not in those big terms. I think like if Johnny went to the store on Sunday, he doesn't have to go to the store on Tuesday.
Right.
Just magnified over longer periods of times and bigger things or smaller things. But just I think because things were done in past, different choices arise for future.
Right, because that's how that's what the future people of history look back upon. They're like, okay, these guys made a mistake this way, let's not make that mistake again.
Yes.
At that point, it's just history.
Okay, so you agree that everything happens for a reason maybe not on a time scale we can understand, but like something in the past made it so that we would have this choice now.
No.
No?
No, I still don't agree. I think
Okay.
because the way you're describing it, you're essentially just talking about history and previous circumstances and outcomes that had happened, and if the outcome was different, what would happen now? Well, obviously, like we wouldn't have the same choices we do now. So at that point, no, not everything happens for a reason. Washington didn't manage to cross the Delaware during Christmas or whatever it was, and miraculously win the Revolutionary War as a cause of it. No, obviously it was like there was planning involved, and it was a risky move. Whether or not he made it, the outcome of the war would have been massively different. It's not because everything happens for a reason. It was just the careful planning and the choice decisions made by the generals.
Yeah, so I'm saying that the reason he was forced to make the decision to risk his men traveling over the river, which was his choice because he was surrounded by Hessite mercenaries on all sides, and also on the other side of the river, they didn't expect him to be able to cross. But my thinking is that he was presented that choice because the English generals decided to entrap him. Not because he's like, oh, we're here now, we're gonna cross a river, because why not?
At that point, it's just a coincidence that the events played out that way.
No, I think the events played out that way because the Hessites planned for him to be like boxed in and trapped. What they didn't plan for is for him to go over the Delaware during the night the way he did.
Yes, what they didn't plan for, indicating human error.
Yes.
Yeah.
The choices of the past.
That's not everything happens for a reason. That's human error. That's essentially a byproduct of people not being able to comprehend the entire situation around them, not thinking of every possible solution.
But that doesn't mean causes everything to happen.
Yes, so, but at that point, that's not what the question is.
The question is, everything happens for a reason. Do we have free will? And
now, what was the reason for them? Now, explain to me. What was the reason for them not taking into account that he might cross the Delaware?
Because it was really snowy and cold and fast moving.
But at that point, they should have, understood the human psyche.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know where we left off. I think we were talking about everything has a reason and free will. I'm sorry if that got cut weirdly. Technical problem. All right, so let's just agree that people have free will. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we agree.
Let's put a bookmark on whether or not everything happens for a reason. Okay?
Agreed.
Okay. So the next question on this is the job of philosophy to discover truths or to analyze the logic and language? That was the next question.
Repeat the question.
Is the job of philosophy to discover truths or to analyze logic and language?
I think it's neither.
I would agree.
To be honest with you, I think philosophy is essentially to pose more questions. It's more of the what ifs of the world that have the possibility of being answered, but at the same time do not. Because there's people on either sides who will argue for one point versus one other point, because the majority of the times there is no factual pieces of evidence to quantify either side.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's either. I think it's, trying to explain some of the reasons behind moral questions, and then the reasoning behind the brain, the way brains work sometimes.
But that's psychology.
Yeah,
that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah. All right. So the next question is, if there was a button and you were told to click it, would you click it?
Oh.
You don't know what it does.
The perfect game.
You're just told to click a button.
Do we propose a scenario of the people that are asking to press this question? Are they...
Hey Joker, press this button right here.
I'm gonna have to say no.
No, you wouldn't click the button.
Because I don't know the circumstances behind the button. I don't know if it, as there have been plenty of games out there on the internet where if you press the button, you nuke the world. Like, let's be honest here.
Okay.
This button may not do anything. It may just be a dud, or it may do something like potentially harmful to another creature or existence. At that point, I would just say no and be done with it, because I don't know. I feel like as if it's a test of will.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I would agree. This button, if I'm able to like do stuff and like move the button around or ask questions, I might eventually press the button. But if I'm just told, Mr. Blockhead, press that button, I probably wouldn't do that. Now, a narrow walkway with a tall pedestal and a red button. You're told you're going to be given $1,000 if you click the button. They don't tell you what the button is, and you can't mess with the button. Do you click the button?
I will still not click the button. That just makes it more like, yes.
But
many people are about to die. This is an answer from God.
But you get $1,000 or $100 or whatever I said.
Money doesn't.
But you don't know what it does. It can do nothing.
Money doesn't compare to a person's existence.
But you don't like all you could do for you could like
exactly. There's
give
so
a child
many,
the flower.
There's so many.
I think I would press it.
I would not, because there's so many unknown variables in this scenario, and the fact that it's a lone button in a room where there's a walkway
well,
and
how do you know it's not a
pedestal.
You just plopped here and told, do you want to click the button? If you click
No,
the button,
I
you get
would
$1,000.
still not.
You still
click
wouldn't
the
even.
button.
All right. What if you knew it was a game show, but it was like a really dark game show where sometimes people die, but you don't know if this button kills them or not?
Mr. Blockhead, you're not making the situation any better.
What if like they also could cure cancer? So one room you have a person where they might die, the other one they get cured of cancer if you press the button. So what would you press the button? You have a chance to save someone's life now.
And is this cure for cancer like permanent cure for
Yeah.
cancer? Not like chemo. As
No,
a
like this
temporary
is
solution.
like a perfect
Like a
they're perfectly
100%.
healthy now. They were gonna die tomorrow. You're saved their life.
I only save one person's life, or I can save.
Well, you technically saved two because you didn't kill a person, but you don't know. It either kills the person
Now hang
or it
on.
saves
You
the
said
person.
cure for cancer.
And so there's two boxes. One box has a person that will get like killed, and the other box has a person who's going to die tomorrow of cancer.
Oh,
This button
so it's
cures
only
them all.
for one person, not for multiple people. I'm not gonna press the button.
You're not gonna press the button, but
Not
you
gonna
could
press the button.
save the cancer patient's life.
At the same time, the cancer patient will also have a potential chance of surviving based off of chemotherapy. If they
You know
don't
they're
die
gonna
to
die
illness.
within the month.
Save the person who doesn't have the illness. I'm not gonna.
So
press
you're
the
not
button.
gonna press the button.
No.
What could I do to make you press the button?
When you said cure for cancer, my mind instantly
Yeah, no,
thought
it doesn't.
the end
No.
all be all
No, not-
cure as like
Not that,
infinite
yeah,
solution. Yeah, no.
So if you had a 50-50 chance between killing a person or curing all of cancer everywhere, you would cure all of cancer everywhere?
And for as many years to come.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yes.
Okay, now, you know what, since we're on this kind of topic, how about the good old-fashioned trolley problem, right? You're driving a trolley, and suddenly, like, the track is broken. Currently, you're going towards 5 people, but you can change it to go towards 1 person. Do you change it?
What are the circumstances behind this one person?
You're in a trolley, you see down the line, there are 5 people, they don't see you or hear you, or you could turn it and you see 1 person who doesn't see you or hear
Am I
you.
able to stop the trolley?
You are unable to stop the trolley, though you try.
Am I... No, wait.
There are people in the trolley.
Well, yes, I get that, but...
They won't die from the impact.
I get that, but the trolley can't get off the tracks.
You are unable to get the trolley off the tracks. Heading towards 5 people, you could turn it towards 1 person.
Yeah, I would turn it towards 1 person.
Alright, cool. I would also agree. Now, the same, so you have a chance. So there's 5 more people on the track now, and you're not in the trolley this time. This time you're on like a ledge next to the trolley. And like you see this is about to happen, but next to you is a really, really big dude. And like, if you push the big dude into the trolley, it'll stop the trolley. Do you push the big dude into the trolley?
He weighs the weight of the world.
He's a really big dude.
Will he stop?
He will die.
Okay. Well,
But you can push him into the path of the trolley and save 5 lives.
I'm sorry, Mr. Big D. You were a worthy sacrifice.
Okay, so you would push him. You would push him into the trolley. You would be a murderer. It'd be his blood on your hands.
It's either be a murderer or witness a murder, but not do anything to stop it.
All right, cool. So you would be a murderer. Got it. All right, sweet. You are now a doctor. In comes 6 patients from a trolley accident. 5 of them are like, it's kind of injured, and if you spent all day working on all 5, they would all be saved. But there's the 6th patient who is seriously injured, who you could save if you spent all day working on. Which one do you go to? But the other 5 would die, and no other doctors are here to help you.
The other 5 would die?
Yeah, the other 5 would die if you spent all of your time.
But now, those injuries aren't not so severe.
Well, like, they're not as severe as when compared to the 6th
the
one.
dude who's, like, missing an arm and a leg and, like, possibly bleeding out to death. I'd save the 5.
Alright, I would agree. Also, like, these are from a study, that's why I'm saying these. But, like, this problem, the correct doctor response is I would stabilize the 5 and then work towards working with the one who is most injured. If he dies while I'm saving the other 5, that is acceptable losses, especially when it comes down to stuff like this, because they have a way of categorizing people. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but at that point, that's a actual medical.
I know that, but I just like to this like actual study. That's what you're supposed to do as a doctor.
I would have never thought of that because
I know, just as a doctor, that's what you're supposed to do. Or at least a doctor coming on to the scene of trauma. I don't know if it's different in the hospital. So now you're a doctor in a hospital. There's these 5 patients that you worked so hard to save, but now you realize like they need vital organs, right? And you know it's gonna be too late if you wait for an organ donor list, and you know you're gonna get away scot-free from what I'm gonna say next if you choose to do it. There's a healthy patient in the next room. He's down under anesthesia or whatever they get people to go to sleep in hospitals, but he's perfectly healthy. He's gonna wake up in an hour. Do you harvest his organs? This would kill him. To save these 5 people that were hit by a trolley that you just worked a day to save, and now they could die because you didn't realize that one of them was missing a heart. The problem does say one of them needs a heart, which is great.
Can't I use the dead body's organs?
No, they were too hit by the trolley.
They were all gone.
They were all just snapped away.
Right. Thanos.
Yep.
Yeah, I would use the kid under anesthesia.
You're a horrible person, medically wise.
Yeah. What is the medical response?
You aren't allowed to do that, like at all. It doesn't matter if they're gonna die.
So all 5 people dead.
Yeah, they'd go on an organ transplant list, which is why you guys should like be organ donors, because you can save, I think it's like 22 people's lives, and still live. So like
organ donor right here. The world is a cruel place.
Yeah,
it's a cruel place.
All right, so back to free plans. Yeah, that was an article by like What is Justice by a Harvard professor or something. It sets a bunch of scenarios why sometimes like judges and juries and lawyers need to sometimes look at a law and see in the scenario of how it worked. So it's not all just like, well, this law says you should, you know, save the 5 people and like try to save this 5th because sometimes you can't, or stuff like that.
Psychology is a great thing.
Yeah, he incorporates it. Anyway, this one I think we'll both agree on, but it's next in the list. Is never okay to lie. Yes,
obviously.
Okay,
like if you're the type of person who'll never ever tell a lie.
I'm sorry, but your life must be really, really nice.
Well, yes, but like there's always those certain situations where you have to tell the lie in order to do something good. Okay, I know this is very morbid, but if
this whole episode has been very morbid.
If someone's about to die, and then they ask you, was I a good person? But right at their final form of the last thing that they need before they pass. You know, but they were like an absolute jerk of a human being when they were alive. You're not gonna be that guy and say, no, you were terrible. That's like you having no good conscience on you. You know what I mean? I would tell the lie just to end just so that person can die knowing that knowing that like something good was made from their life. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, I would agree. Seeing as this is within the last 7-ish minutes of 45 minutes of podcast, maybe we have a bunch of extra time in this one. We're gonna go to like animal stuff. This time, instead of like asking a question, I have a bunch of facts, and we're gonna play multiple truths and a lie because I don't know how many truths I'm gonna tell. And Joker over here will have to guess which one of them is the lie. By the way, all of this is according to Mother Nature Network, so if I'm wrong, blame Mother Nature Network. A type of
link in the description.
All right, so the first one is a type of immortal jellyfish is capable of cheating death indefinitely. Butterflies can taste with their feet. Cats and horses are relatively resistant to black widow venom. And sharks kill fewer than 10 people per year. Which one is the lie?
What was the one about the jellyfish?
A type of immortal jellyfish is capable of cheating death indefinitely.
And what was the one about the butterfly?
Butterflies can taste with their feet.
That's the lie.
Incorrect. The lie is cats and horses are relatively resistant to black widow.
Cats.
Yes.
I thought you said cows.
No. Cats and horses are actually highly susceptible to black widow venom. But if your dog is ever bit by a black widow, get it checked by a vet. But you'll probably be lucky because dogs are relatively resistant to the black widow venom. The next thing, wild dolphins call each other by wild dolphins call each other by name. Young goats pick up accents from others. Humpback whales songs spread like cultural ripples from one population from another. And elephants have an alarm call. None of those were lies. Those are all facts because I can't think that fast. This next one, though, these do have... Oh, that's cool. These do have a lie. Animals with smaller bodies and faster metabolism see in slow motion. Owls don't have eyeballs, they have eye tubes. Squirrels can burp. And a dog's sense of smell is about 100,000 times stronger than humans, but they have just 1/6 our number of taste buds. Which one is the lie?
What was the one about eye tubes?
Owls don't have eyeballs, they have eye tubes.
What was the one before that?
Animals with smaller bodies and faster metabolism see in slow motion.
Metabolism. I'm going to have to say that's the lie.
That is actually true, which is awesome. The lie was squirrels cannot burp or vomit.
I keep on mishearing these.
What did you think I said?
I heard can burp or vomit.
No, that's what I said. That was a lie. They can't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the freaking like smaller bodies and faster metabolism.
That's amazing. They're
that's
Flash.
Awesome.
They are literally the Flash every day of their life.
Cool. All right. This one's just a cool fact. I don't think I'm gonna do like facts and a lie right now, but male penguins and Adele penguins propose to females by giving them a pebble, which is cool.
Here's the ring.
Yeah. A group of parrots is known as a pandemonium. Polar bears have black skin. Reindeer's eyeballs turn blue in the winter to help them see at lower light levels. So you know Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer? It'd actually be the blue-eyed reindeer. Sadly, we don't have a discussion on whether or not lizards are cooler than mammals. But you know what? All right, let's do a bit of a ranking. What's cuter? What's a closer comparison? So are birds cuter than lizards?
No, they are more...
I would say lizards on average.
They are...
Before you
Wait, you said cuter or cooler?
Yeah, I said cuter, but I thought you were going to say cooler.
Yeah, no, birds are way cooler than lizards.
But are they cuter?
No, they're not.
All right,
cuter.
so it goes mammals, lizards, birds for cuteness factor.
Yes.
Are birds cooler than lizards?
Yes.
I'd say like half of them are, half of them aren't. Like
yeah, that is very true.
got
I
the
mean, like,
raptors, and then you got rock.
birds of prey.
But this is all birds and all lizards. So
I'd still have to say yes because I don't know. I think the
Alright,
birds of prey factors very high up
Yeah.
there.
I would say it's not as much of a gap between lizards and mammals, but it is a gap above lizards.
Yes.
So right now, cuteness factor, we got mammals, then lizards, then birds. For coolness factor, we got birds, especially birds of prey, then lizards, then mammals, right? Right?
But you gotta think of the leopard and the cheetah.
Okay, so we can... All
Yeah,
right.
no, I'd still have to go with lizards.
Alright, so for now, it's cuteness factor, mammals, lizards, birds. For coolness factor, birds, lizards, mammals. Unless you want to add anything, Joker.
I've got nothing for you.
Alright, sweet. This has been Aristotle's Playground with a bunch of death and murder today, and time travel, and genies. Hope you enjoyed. I've been your host, Mr. Blockhead, with
Joker.
Thank you for staying around.